it's hard because the process, while it's collaborative, it's also adversarial, right? And so there's going to be times when there's going to be conflict and buyers are going to ask hard questions and have hard conversations, and there's going to be disagreements on all sorts of stuff, right? And that is totally normal and expected. I think where I spot bad actors most, especially from the buyer side, is when you can tell they're trying to take advantage of the lack of the seller's knowledge and experience with the situation. We had one deal in particular that I remember that we would have a call with the lawyers. We even had a couple all hands calls, and everyone would be on the same page, right? And our client felt like their voice was heard and things were good. Then after the call, they would get a call from the buyer directly that said, "Hey, we want to meet with you tomorrow to discuss this further." And they say, "Okay, let me call my lawyer." And they're like, "No, your lawyer absolutely cannot be there. We don't want to meet with you, with your lawyer." And then they would proceed to bring in all these unreasonable terms that were just completely out of market, and trying to say that, we were the ones holding up the deal, but just trying to do the end around and capitalize on something where the seller just didn't know what was right and what was wrong. So actions like that, where like they're clearly just trying to, get you to agree to something without proper consideration or things like that, to me is what smells of someone just trying to take advantage.
Yeah, that's not good. Like, hey, call me directly, but don't tell your lawyer. I'm
Yeah,
trying to save
yeah.
you a fee. I'm trying to keep you. No, that's probably not true.
And I think in my experience, every good buyer wants the seller to be fully informed and to do a fair deal. Like, there's probably some new buyers out there that are like, "Oh yeah, if I can get the right seller, I'll just get the deal of a lifetime and they'll never know any better." But I think those are very few and far between. Like, most good buyers want you to feel like you got a fair shake and want you to be fully informed in the process. And so if there's indications that they don't want that, that's where I start raising red
Yeah.
flags.
Well, I think that goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like, if you're trying to, you think about the burger analogy. If you're selling the dollar menu burger, right? And so if you're attracting those type
Right.
of buyers, they might want that because they don't have a lot of money. They can't. They need a great deal. The person who mailed you about your house, they're trying to flip it and or whatever they're trying to do. They're trying to get a discount. And so if you're trying to sell for premium, but you don't set up a premium path, you're going to attract buyers who don't want to pay trip premiums, and they might be shady or they might not be shady. They have a motivation that's different than yours, and so attracting premium buyers means you go a certain way. And I think that's kind of the lesson there is like, okay, you don't. There are shady actors at at all sorts of levels, of course, but it's easier to spot them. The more valuable you make your company, the more process you take to get ready to exit, because then all of a sudden, the people who are shady, in my experience, are going to want to go fast. They're going to go quick. They're really going to rush. It's like, well, okay,
Yeah.
this is not how this is going to work. Sorry, we can't close
Right.
next Thursday. You just talked to us today. Sorry, that's not how it's going to work.
Right. Totally.